Hello and welcome to
Hey, we like your pod.
And we're going to tell you why. Hi, it's Dawn here, and I'm joined, as always, by my trusted partner, Matt Pickett. How you doing, Matt? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Don. I'm doing great. Work's going well. We're making real big progress on getting a new house here in town. My Packers throwback stuff that I ordered arrived today, so I'm wearing the new T-shirt. Yeah. And I even have the cute winter hat too. So yeah, really excited about that stuff. And the fact that like actual football is on actually right now. It's the Hall of Fame game, it's preseason, it's not that interesting to watch, but the fact that it's happening, that it's even happening, just feels like football. And with like how exciting it's been, watching along with the beat reporters, tweeting about the all the stuff in training camp, and it's been like really kind of interesting and more interesting than usually I feel like, with all the drama and the defense going kind of like in a good way berserk. It's just really exciting right now. I'm just like amped about everything. How about you, Don? How are you doing?
Same, super amped when I'm not like dealing with this cat bite. And I know the chat is really going to love hearing about the cat bite, but it wasn't my cat. So let's make it clear. Tosh did not bite me this time.
Conspiracy. It's a catspiracy.
Catspiracy. Cat trying to kill her. No, it wasn't my cat. Was not my cat. My doctor was not pleased, though. I had to go back because I was treated, had IV antibiotics and then oral antibiotics, and now the infection is coming back. So I'm back to getting treated. And that can happen with cat bites. And so far, I've been lucky. I was bit a couple years back, right, by Tosh, but I was able to. I didn't even need. I don't think they even gave me a shot. They might have gave me one injection, but it wasn't IV, and I just had like 7 or 10 days of antibiotic and I was fine. But this one got me possibly in the bone. And so it's a little more of a problem. But other than that, the cat's doing fine. It went into rabies quarantine, and we didn't think it had rabies. It's very, it's not. There are no incidents of rabies in cats or most animals really in my area, so it wasn't a big concern. They also do check the quarantine for other zoonotic diseases such as bird flu. So I don't have bird flu either.
Good.
So that's cool. No rabies, no bird flu, but I do have a bite that we're dealing with. So yeah, so this is a good one. True North Packers fan. True North, hello. On tonight's show, how to file a police report against your pet. No, so the little kitty came out of quarantine, I think was the beginning of the week. I don't know. I've kind of lost track of time. He's doing well. He still has some issues. The reason I was trying to save this cat, to catch this cat and all that, is it was a kitten, for one thing. And a whole bunch of neighbors were trying to like corner it. And that's not how you catch a cat. You're never going to win against a little, because they can go under cars and bushes and whatnot. And so I was like, okay, I think they need help. And so I went out there with a carrier and with cat treats and the things that you do to lure a cat into the carrier and treats and all that. And so I guess I wanted to, just take over, and I did. And then this little kitty was so hungry that when I he had been eating from like a tube treat, those tubes with the paste in it. That's like tuna. Like so Go-Gurt. He was eating from that, but he was so hungry. He just took the tube treat and ran with it. And I thought he was going to choke on it. So then I got another one, and I'm like, okay, here. And I put it in a bowl, and he was eating it from the bowl. Everything was going fine. And so the next step, usually the kittens he was 3.5 months old, so he was a little bigger, but is to put some of it on your finger and they'll just lick it off your finger, and you're trying to gain trust. I was taking my time. It was going to take a while. And he was so hungry that he just, instead of licking it off my finger, he just went, how?
Oh.
And tried to run with it. So I thought my finger was broken, and of course bit. And so luckily it actually bled a lot, because with puncture wounds, this is just your public notice here. With a puncture wound, if it bleeds, that's good, because the problem with puncture wounds is they don't bleed and the bacteria stays deep inside. But it did bleed a lot. And so I screamed and started laughing at the same time, and eventually called my friend, and I'm like, I was trying to deal with this on my own, but this thing bit me and it really hurts. So could you come over and help me? So my friend came, lured it into the carrier, and we took it to, the Humane Society, where they are taking very good care of the little guy. And he's a really cute cat. So, and he'll be adopted eventually, as long as he, passes, obviously, quarantine, and then he has to go through behavioral evaluation and all that. So long story short, I mean, I wouldn't normally just walk up to a cat and let them bite me. I wasn't trying to grab it. I wasn't doing anything super stupid, but I guess I'll never do the tube treat thing again. That's because so yeah, cat mafia. And speaking of mafia, I have a gang. We have gang activity on my balcony with the hummingbirds. My hummingbirds are now 2 separate gangs vying. You wouldn't believe it. Like, it's violent out there with the hummingbirds.
Like the sharks and the jets, they're like dancing and like knife fighting and stuff, or like
all of it. And they're trying to kill me if I try to go out there.
You're Officer Krupke.
So I got a hummingbird feeder, kind of to feed the hummingbirds, because they're cute, I thought. I'm not a bird person. I know nothing about birds. My mom is. And I thought it'd be fun for the cat, for Tosh, because it's like hanging outside on the balcony where her catio is. And so it's endless entertainment for the cat. And she loves it. And everything was going fine, until all of a sudden this big hummingbird came in, and he's like fighting the other hummingbirds. And now there's 2 other little ones that are fighting with one another. And then when I try to go out there to water the flowers or whatever, I'm getting attacked by the hummingbirds. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. But Tosh loves it.
You can't attack a hummingbird because 1, they're super cute, and 2, they're super fast. Like
they're so fast. So I'm like out there, like holding my head, and I guess I could wear like a hard hat or something. But Tosh loves it. Tosh is having a blast.
That's crazy. So Joe has this comment about the cat mafia as a dangerous group coming from where True North had said, so now Tosh is hiring a mob hit cat. The cat mafia. Would that be the Meowfia? Would it be La Cazza Nostra? What would it be exactly? I don't know. La Cozy Nostra? I don't know.
So you think cat's in it with the hummingbirds? You think the cat that Tosh has hired out the hummingbirds? Or are you saying that she hired the little kitten to bite my finger?
Well, I think it was the kitten. It was what? Yeah. No, the kitten was a hit cat. It knew you well enough to know that you would come after to try to help it, and it struck when the opportunity presented itself. So yeah, I don't know. Cats.
I don't know.
Cat hoots. Cat hoots.
They're in cat.
Yeah, whatever. So that's crazy. Well, I'm glad you're alive. I mean, it sounds like having an infection like that sounds awful.
It's not good. I was really unhappy because everything was fine. I didn't really think much of it. And then when that abscess and that's, I guess, what abscesses do. They just pop up and boom, there they are, and they're throbbing, they hurt. And I'm like, what is this? And I looked it up and I was like, oh God, no, this is not what I thought. Because I've been off like for 3 or 4 days. So it's enough, because antibiotics work for longer than you're taking them. So like if you take them for 7 days, they're going to work for like 10 days. If you take them for 5 days. Yeah. So it's just the right amount of time where they just got out of my system, and I need more antibiotics, which I hope that's all I need. I hope I don't have to through the IV situation because I've been through that with another situation, 3
Mhm.
months of having an IV running, which is not fun and really nasty. Um, the the antibiotics that they use for like that kind of serious infection, those antibiotics can actually kill you. The infection
What?
can kill you, but the antibiotic, yeah. So
Wow.
it's more dangerous than chemo. Yeah. So I'm like,
Wow.
no, no, no. So guys, hope for me that in 10 days and like in 20 days, I'm clear.
Mhm.
And then we'll just be watching football.
So in 20 days, we'll be well into the preseason
Yep.
and just even more excited. So speaking of being excited about football, speaking of
Let's
things we
talk
need more of, Don,
football. Yes.
a lot of storylines coming out of the Packers training camp. What
So
is something that has been
excited.
really like catching your interest? What are you really jazzed about of those storylines?
I mean, everything. The whole Nate Hobbs thing has me
Yes.
twisted up. I'm like, yeah, but
Nate
no,
Hobbs hitting hard. Yeah, don't hurt our guys,
no.
man. But like, if we're gonna have that
Yes.
guy out there,
Yeah.
Andy
Let's
Herman was
not be
comparing him to like,
soft.
yeah, like a really strong dude. I was comparing to what's shooting? I can't think of the guy's name. Um, but like a relative a-hole score kind of a situation where we need
Oh,
more of Mike Daniels. He's comparing to Mike Daniels. So like, I'm super excited to see that. What else is catching your interest?
well, I am very interested in seeing. I'm always interested in seeing Brian and Matt in their tan because they look really orange to me. Don't they look orange? I thought it was Matt
Yes,
just looking
yes,
orange, but it's like, why? It must be the lighting
they
because
both
it's
do.
both of
Yeah,
them.
it's
Yeah.
something. That's hilarious. They're orange.
I
You could
don't
say,
know.
Don, you could say they look golden, like
Oh,
Matthew
yes.
Golden, who
Oh
that's one thing I'm
gosh.
excited about. Like just like the Packers have been
So
like posting
excited.
the occasional highlight, like the
Yeah.
one from the other day where it was that like 60-yard catch or something crazy, like up against the sideline. Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. I'm
And
very
he's a
excited about
rookie.
that.
And he's a
Yeah.
rookie. And the thing is, because people who are reasonable people,
Mhm.
uh, measured analysts like Moscato and Herman, they're
Mhm.
excited. So
Yeah,
it's for real. It's for realsies.
that's right.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited about it. Yeah.
People who are not like prone to hot takes and overexcitement. Yeah.
Right. Right. And so I didn't, want to say that one because that's just like so obvious. Yeah, but you're right. That is super great. And yeah,
Super cool.
the throwback uniforms are wonderful. As a designer, I appreciate anything that's a little bit outside the box because there's
Mhm.
just so much like it's all the same. And I just wish I know. I like that we're green and gold and all that, but I do prefer the blue. I wish we were still
Yes.
blue, blue and
Me
gold.
too. Yes, the better color combination.
It
Green and
really is.
yellow, I'll love it because of my team, but like
Right.
I don't love it.
It's hard
I
to
don't love
deal
it.
with.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's hard for me to do.
Honestly. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, with you as a designer, as an artist, like, what do you think of the throwbacks? I'm glad you like them. I love them. So like you like the blue. Like, tell me more about like what do you like
Well,
about them
right. I
overall?
appreciate that. First of all, the NFL has to approve everything,
Mhm.
right? So you can't
Of course.
just go crazy and design because I'd be like applying for work there. I mean, I would do it for free because they need help. They really need help. But everything goes to the NFL, and I would have a really hard time conforming to that. But sometimes the best designs come from a lot of limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So
Agreed.
so I appreciate that finally somebody, and it's the Packers of all teams that actually are using, because the technology to create a faux leather helmet like
Hmm.
that with digital printing and all of that is there. So why not? And so I
Hmm.
really appreciate it's the Packers. I mean, I haven't looked, to be honest, I haven't looked at what any other team has done. And I sure hope that the designers aren't sharing their ideas between tweet. I hope that they're keeping it close to the vest like you would in the fashion industry.
Hmm.
So, so I appreciate that the innovation, the fact that they're using the Packers are using history, the Packers history as well as football history
Hmm.
with modern technology and printing
Yeah.
techniques. to create this three-dimensional look of a leather helmet, yet still safe. And then what are they called, pants? What do you call the pants? I never thought about this before, that they wear the pants that the football players.
Sure.
They're just called pants.
How about the bottoms? The bottoms.
The bottoms.
The
I call them pants, but I'll go with pants. I'll go with
whatever. Either way.
Pants. I like the word pants. Anyway. And the pants have dimensionality as well, and they have that, distressed look that, we all know, like, has been around for years. So why haven't they done that sooner? So I just really like the oldie time look of them. But yet they still use all of the modern safety and that is required for everything. There's even safety built into the pants. There really is. And so that is great. So yeah, I love that it's the Packers that have done that. I doubt that any other team did that, but we'll see. Has anyone else?
I think so. No, I mean, that's such a specific thing to have throwbacks to, like, that long ago. And Heather helmets. Whoa, we both having a time with the word leather. Leather helmets were actually being used.
It is not that easy to say. Now you're not laughing.
Surprisingly. People at home, try saying it. You'll be surprised. Yes, so few teams were around, that are still here were around then. So there's just a small group that would even think to use it. I've never seen it. I think the helmets look really cool. Like, I was skeptical for sure. I was like, this is gonna look stupid. And then they had the video where they released it and they showed, like, how they make it, like the whole, like, printing process. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is cool. I like it.
Yeah. And it was fun to see the players' reactions to that. That was really fun. And they seemed to really be genuine about how they appreciated the look of it. And the reason is that I say that is because they're seeing it, like, up close and personal. We're just seeing photographs.
Yeah.
So, but I know enough that for the uniforms to photograph the way they have to look really great up close. Right. Yeah, so they have to look even better up close. So I'm distracted by the comments because I'm seeing about liver failure. That was my first thought. About Matt LaFleur. I'm like, does he have an issue with his liver because of the orange tan thing?
It's just a tan.
And a lot of it is like, if you eat a lot of carrots, you can turn orange too.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like, is he eating a lot of carrots or is he having a liver issue? But then when I saw it with Goody, I'm like, oh no, it must just be lighting. It must be lighting.
Yeah, I think it's
and we're going back to the tans. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But suffice to say, the video of the Packers, like, opening the box, taking out the helmet, their unboxing video, I guess you could call it.
Right.
Did you have somebody who was, like, your favorite reaction in that video? Do you remember it well enough, or?
I can't remember.
I mean, for me, I'll say it was Romeo Dobbs, because he was like, I could try to make the Romeo noises, I could try. It might be kind of silly, but basically, like, it was like from the bottom of his soul, like, it was like a deep laugh sort of a thing. It was, it made me so happy to hear it. A lot of people have, like, taken that screenshot of it, so it's like Romeo noises, like, in parentheses while he's holding it. And that I'm sure we'll see that a lot kind of posted throughout the season on social media. But I loved seeing the reactions too. I think the helmet looks really cool. I think there are people who are going to hate no matter what the alternate uniforms look like. Steve Perhatch looking at you, but
Steve, really?
he's a hater. But I love them. And like you're saying, with the blue instead of the green, I'll wear that. I bought the shirt right away. I was like, I need to get the t-shirt, because it's cool, it's sharp. So anyhow, I'm excited.
Well, as you know, I'm not big on wearing, like, a lot of the stuff because it's not my style, right? And it's really hard, even though I want to buy things and I want to wear them. It's like I just can't. And when I saw those uniforms and heard about the uniforms, I was on the website immediately looking at the merch. Which is good. Yeah, which is the point. Anyway. All right. Well, liver failure can be yellow or it can start out orange.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. This is a very educational night.
It is. And again, another thing I have experience with not because of drinking, by the way, my liver, but because of a blood disease. So my first thought is like, does he have the same blood disease that I have? That's weird. Anyway, Maddie, so what do you think? What do you think? Is it time?
I think it's time. Time for...
It's time for this week's superlatives.
I'm telling you, maybe once we're back to like every week, which I think is gonna be soon. Once we're back to doing a podcast every week, maybe that won't be the funniest thing to me anymore. I don't know. We'll see. For some reason, it just tickles me. I just love it.
Well, it tickles you, and then that tickles me. So, okay. All right. Sorry, I'm trying not to be distracted, but the pharmacy is. I'm waiting for a thing from my pharmacy, so I just got a text. I want to make sure it wasn't them. All righty, Maddie. What's your first one? So I know
that. So beforehand we talked like I'm just like bursting with superlatives this week. So yes. I could rattle off 2 before your first one. How does that sound?
Why don't you just rattle them all off? Because mine is more like philosophical and weird, like that way. Okay. It's and it's not going to bring us down by any means. It's very I don't know some philosophy will bring me down necessarily. Maybe ethics could. I don't know. But yeah, I do have 5 here, and I'm happy to bring them to you folks. My first one was best tribute. So, one of the things about if you have a podcast that releases the same day that we record. So if you have a Thursday podcast, it's sadly you don't get as much love on this show as you probably should for the good work you're doing, because we won't necessarily hear it on Thursday. I might listen to Thursday Pack a Day on Friday. It's very common. That's kind of how it works out. So I'm happy to say that I did listen to the Thursday Pack a Day earlier today. This is with Jason Prone and Mark Eckel, who are amazing. I love their rapport. They're especially Mark's deep well of experience, as a reporter and for the Eagles back when he was working in doing reporting actively, and his lifelong fandom as a Packers fan. They're so fascinating to listen to, and we don't talk about them nearly enough on this show because it's a Thursday show, and so are we. So, but my point is, I listened to their show this week on Thursday instead of on Friday, and it was so good, Dawn, because they had this dude on, Denny Toll, who's like a Green Bay native who makes music. And he had made this really awesome tribute to Pack a Day, and I think he has one for like Cheesehead TV as well. With this hard rock song. They only play like half of the song. I want to hear the whole thing because he kind of name checks the different Pack a Day hosts throughout the course of the song. It's super fun. I actually reached out to Denny to be like, hey man, can you tell us where this is? Because if he had gotten back to me quickly enough, we could have actually played the whole song here. Would have loved to promote him and his music. But it's once we can find a link for it, of course we'll throw it out there on the social media, on Twitter and on Blue Sky, because it was a lot of fun listening to it. So that was the really cool first part of their podcast. And then after that, they had this whole discussion about the more aggressive nature of the practices this year, for the Packers in training camp. And, how does that stack up to what football used to be, when it was really tough and people were getting concussions all the time, and just that perspective on it, as I'm not going to call them old timers, especially not Jason, but they're guys who are older than a lot of the other Pack a Day folks. So there's kind of a different perspective from a longer lens, more time watching football back into the day, So that discussion they had about the aggressiveness in the practices, which I'm really excited about personally, was really fun to listen to. So excellent work from Jason Prone and Mark Eckel. And I haven't met Mark in person yet, but I have hung out with Jason a couple of times when I've been up in Green Bay. He's the nicest guy. Yeah. He's the best. So shout out to you guys. Great episode. Very good, Maddie. And we don't want to play anyone's music because we record on YouTube. Well, we record on StreamYard, but anyway, whatever. YouTube's involved, and we don't want to get a copyright strike against us. Yeah,
you want to talk to the people first.
I've accidentally done that. Even somebody else playing another music video when they have rights, it's just YouTube does not want you. It's no music on YouTube ever. Even, you know what? We've gotten copyrighted on our own, your original music, Matt.
What?
Matt wrote the
I
music.
wrote it.
You wrote it, and YouTube's like, copyright infringement. No. It's not. Anyway, so it doesn't even matter. I digress. Sorry. Just had to get
I will
that
throw Iowa Jones said in the chat here, Perone is a handsome devil. Boy, you're right about that. He's a handsome man.
I think Katie and I ran into him when we were up in Green Bay a couple of years ago, but you weren't with us at that moment. I believe.
But he was in town that weekend, because I saw him the night before, I think. So, good dude. Cool. So that's my first one. So that one was best tribute, by the way. That was specifically Denny Toll who made the music. So the tribute he made for the Pack a Day folks, best tribute, but then it was part of like a really great episode. So anyhow, first one is kind of two parts, but all right, my second one. Okay, Dawn. This is the best football related thing I've seen in a while. Okay. This is a video that Tyler Brook did for the website, or perhaps YouTube channel, I should say, Best Available. And the title was Edgerrin Cooper, the NFL's next defensive superstar. And holy cow, you got to see this, because first of all, Tyler Brook's like really good at talking about football in a very clear, understandable way. He was bringing tape. He was explaining what was happening there. Because for me, we have heard a lot over the course of the last season, and then in the off season, that Edgerrin Cooper is really good. And for me, it's like, okay, I believe you all, but I wasn't watching him closely enough to see it for myself. Like a lot of the smart people are saying this, so I'm like, okay, I believe you, but I didn't really know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Well, Tyler's video was a lot of clips of him explaining them, like what's happening here, why it's amazing, and you're like, oh my goodness, this guy's like incredible. He's super fast and like really smart at like figuring out the angles and how to get to people effectively. Mm-hmm. So that just got me super amped for seeing Edgerrin Cooper more this season, for the defense as a whole, and I just feel like I learned a ton from watching that video. So like I cannot recommend it highly enough. Tyler Brook just like knocked it out of the park. It is so good.
Well done, Tyler. And by the way, on the unboxing, I think it was Edgerrin's that I really liked too. And but I didn't want to say it was Edgerrin's because I wasn't sure if it was him. I can't remember now because everything's just a jumble in my little head this week. I promise I'm getting more together, but anyway. But I thought it was Edgerrin's. Did you see Edgerrin's unboxing?
I'll have to go back and watch the video again because
me too.
A lot of players in there. So I can't remember who all was in there. I remember Tucker Kraft. I liked his reaction for sure, and I mentioned Romeo Dobbs was notable.
So I'm going to listen to Tyler Brooks on YouTube, and then I'm going to go watch Edgerrin unbox.
There you go.
After the show.
All right, Dawn, you ready for my third superlative?
All right.
You sound ready. Okay, here we go. It's a best history lesson. So Bill Huber was reporting basically about the talk that Cliff Crystal, the historian for the Packers, the talk that he gave in the pro shop when they were like revealing all of the new merch and everything. So though the history lesson was technically from Cliff Crystal, at the same time, Bill's article is the one that I saw, like kind of covering it and talking about, relaying what Cliff had said, as well as filling in some other details. So between what Cliff said and Bill reported on, all the stuff that Bill wrote to fill in some of the blanks, it was definitely the best history lesson. Because like, why are they doing throwbacks from 1923? Well, as you probably know by now, Don, that's the year that the Packers incorporated and thus like tethered themselves to the community, got the funds they needed to keep going, and kind of established themselves as that like community-minded team that we know and love, that makes them so different from the other teams, and they're like kind of their base and their philosophy. So 1923 is where that started. So great year to celebrate. Now, of course, should they have thought about this 2 years ago? So it could have been like the centennial of it, perhaps. But better slightly late than never for sure. And again, we just love the way the stuff looks. So I'll probably get up to Lambeau for a game, probably at some point. I was just texting with my dad before this, and man, Don, when I'm up there, it's going to be so tempting to kind of like walk over and see if they have any 2XLs and maybe like a Tucker Kraft or something. Maybe it's gonna be tempting. It's gonna be tempting. Might just have to put that on my Christmas wish list or something. But yeah, I figured if I get the T-shirt and the winter hat ahead of time,
Oh
I'll be
yeah.
less tempted because those are the things I would usually gravitate towards. I love
Yeah.
a good Packers t-shirt, so
They're great. They're great selections. I love them. I love that you have them already. That's crazy.
it was the thing. It was like I don't know, midnight one night, about a week ago or whatever, and I was like, let me just look at those things again, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna pull the trigger.
I love it. I'm so glad you did. You deserve it. That's your I got a promotion.
There you go.
Yourself. There you go.
Commercial
I will say one of the cool things about the throwback jersey that you just kind of like by bringing this superlative to mind for all of us is that when I shared the picture of Jordan Love with the throwback jersey, throwback uniform on, I sent it to Bonnie and I was like, did you see these? For those who have been listening to the show for a while, you know that Bonnie is really the one who got me to like football after all these years. So, and she's an avid Packers fan. And so she was asking me about the color. Like she knows everything. She might be a little slipping, I don't know, but I just figured she knew the answer, right? But she was asking me questions, and so then I found myself like researching and sending her like some of the Packers information about the history of the uniforms and the colors, and so it prompted a really fun conversation between us as well. So I appreciated that.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really neat. Yeah, and again, I just really wish we were still blue and gold because I could be all over that. Like it just, I have a really hard time. I have a hard time with the designs, the designs in general for not for the players, but for us folk, the fans, but especially the female ones, right? So I would love to. I could easily design. Like my sister and I were talking about this. Like I'll see like boots or boots like sequins green boots with like a Packers logo, and it's like, no, the logo's in the wrong place, that's not right, I would do it this way. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of thought in a lot of the designs, and if I had the time I would be just all over that for sure. It'd be a fun project.
They should contract you for some better designs. That's right.
They should because I know what women like. So
there you go. Good point.
and would wear. Yeah.
And that would sell more stuff, guys.
Sell. That's all about. Yes. But anywho, yeah, I love that. I like that one.
All right. So let's see. I think we have I'm the fourth one now. Okay. This was best tweet. And as is so often the case from this person, this tweet was both insightful and funny, and it got me excited. And so the tweet is from our good friend Erin Alice. She said, "Football isn't back until I see a 300-pound man riding a tiny kid's bike," which is perfect, right? Because like the pictures we see of the players riding on the kids' bikes between the practice facility, and the field, I love those. It's so great. It's such a great tradition. So you're tying in this awesome tradition. It's a funny tweet, but it's also like getting me excited about football. So Aaron just like hit a bunch of notes all there, in a very small number of characters. So made me really happy to see that one.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in the chat again, and I cannot stop laughing right now.
No! What is going on?
I'm so sorry, Matt. I'm not trying not.
Oh, they're talking about the toilet behind you? Yeah.
Because the cat tree behind me looks like a toilet.
It absolutely looks. For those who are listening just on your podcast, fire up the video version. There is definitely a toilet behind Dawn.
I have to move it. It's in the window. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I noticed that like 2 weeks ago on the podcast that we did, and then on other ones I've been on. Oh my goodness. It's not a toilet. It's a cat tree for sure. I will move it though. And then Iowa Joe's like, stay out of my mind. I was thinking the same thing. So everybody's. But the thing is, when we started tonight, Tosh was in there like really cutely draped. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to leave it there because Tosh is in there and it won't look like a toilet.
Tosh is almost never on screen when we're recording. She used to
always make an appearance. Dawn's, where is she? Yeah,
Been a while.
she doesn't come up anymore. Anyway,
Dawn's imaginary.
I'm so
cat.
sorry. I got totally distracted. What was your last superlative?
I was just talking about this amazing tweet from Aaron. I'll read it again because it's that good. I mean, it deserves to be read twice on our show. The tweet from Aaron was, "Football isn't back until I see a 300-pound man riding a tiny kid's bike." You know what I mean? Like it's good.
Right.
It's good.
That's really good.
Really
That's
good.
right.
My favorite tweet.
That's right. And yes, beautiful, Aaron. And I'm so glad Aaron's back. Or maybe she wasn't anywhere. She didn't.
You know who's back? Oh, Dawn.
I just haven't been there.
Side shout out. Can I tell you who's back?
Who's back?
Maggie and Perry are back. The first episode back of Peck's What She Said dropped today. It was excellent, of course. I've really missed hearing their takes. Maggie's a genius, you know. Perry's no slouch herself. So really excited to have their voices back in my earphones again. I was very happy to see that. So side superlative.
And another side superlative, a side superlative.
Side
is congratulations, Maggie, because I don't think we ever shouted her out. She had a little baby girl. I was stalking Blue Sky. I finally texted somebody, I can't remember who, like, did she have her baby? Like, what's going anyway? So she had a little baby girl, so cute. And it seems like adorable. Ages against, but so she's back now that she's all ready to go for football and for having 2 beautiful children. So that's right. Yeah.
Cutest family ever, I swear.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so I have one more planned superlative, side superlatives aside. The last one, right? Okay, this was an article that Matt Schneidman wrote for The Athletic, and the name of it is "The Packers Ball King: How Coach Involves a Siren, WWE Belt, and Fun in Camp." Okay, so this was really exciting. It's some really good peek behind the curtain stuff, because one of the quality control guys for the defense, Wendell, I forget his last name, I don't have it up right now, is being called now the Ball King, because he's kind of in charge of this sort of competition they have going in the defense, where they have them grouped into 3 different squads, and there's a GM for each squad. So I think it's Xavier McKinney is one of them. I think it's Rashawn Gary, I think, and definitely Quay Walker are the 3 kind of leaders of the groups. And that the goal is to get as many balls batted out, interceptions, ball takeaways, anything where you can what would force a turnover, or at least stop an reception, whatever, making a play on the ball. Every time somebody does that squad gets a point. And there's all kinds of different ways that they keep the score. But this is part of the reason why we've been seeing the defense playing so aggressively and batting balls out more than we would typically hear about. It's because they're in a competition with these 3 squads against each other. And then each squad also has somebody who could be the, if your squad wins that week or whatever, you elect an MVP within the squad. So I should remember who it was, but the person who had it most recently was wearing a WWE belt around the facility, because he was the MVP from the winning squad. And everyone else is oh, I want that. I want to be the MVP. So it's this really great competition going on that's making them all better and establishing a new culture of let's hit the ball out. Let's get the ball. Let's take the ball. And it's you're seeing the results, in the practices and the things we're hearing from the beat reporters. And I'm hoping and assuming and hoping that that's going to carry through to the season. I think we'll have a really fun defense to watch if they can keep that going, Yes,
I'm a little concerned. I was listening to Justice and Andy Herman today, and they had a little bit of insight too on that whole ball punching out thing that was different, and it was kind of fun. But I'm a little concerned because I picked up on the whole what I like to call musical chairs offensive strategy with the Packers. It's just who's playing what position, for realsies, and why can't we figure that out again? I mean, it just seems I don't know. Did you pick up on that? Are we still?
Do you mean on the O-line specifically, or do you mean? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of philosophies about it, right? I think training them so that there's at least like a core 5, even if one of them is like rotational, like if left tackle ends up being Rasheed Walker and also Jordan Morgan rotating at least for a little while, like whatever, as long as there's the 5 are more or less set, that's really good and important to develop the chemistry. But I think spending a little bit of time rotating other guys in so that they can have like that ability to recover if one of the guys goes down in the middle of a game, so that they're like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Diverse isn't quite the word, but they can adapt to like throw somebody else in at a second's notice. I think it's really important. So it's a tricky thing, I will say our O-line is consistently excellent, consistently among the top 10 in the league by a number of metrics. So like, I guess I just feel like I trust the coaches. I trust Robovic.
Yeah.
I trust them. So,
well, being in the top 10, it's like, okay, being in the top 10 is great, but we need to be the top. Like we need to be number one. And my only concern, well, if we want to get the championship. So if we are focused too much, I mean, and this is just general because I know nothing about football. But just generally speaking, if we don't train to be really good at one thing, I mean, it's like it's a balance. Yes, we need to have a backup plan, of course, but the backup plan can't be the main plan. Right. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this is the time to try things out for sure. Yeah. But I do think that they have the concept of who the core 5 or 6, because it is, I think left tackle seems a little bit like in question right now. I think they do have the starting 5 established.
Well, I hope so, because I felt like last year it didn't get established till halfway through the season.
That was kind of true, actually.
Yeah. And that's my concern, that we're not doing that again, because those are the little things. Like it takes so much to win a championship, including what other teams are doing or not doing and injuries and all that. But if you take that out of the equation and just know what you're doing, like,
I mean, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's just my concern. And I wonder, like, are we still a year out? Are we always going to be a year out? But are we a year out, or are we going to be championship potential this year?
I mean, it's hard to say at this point, right? I'm eternally optimistic as always. Of course, I think we have a real chance to, get deep into the postseason stuff, to the playoffs. But we just don't know. So it's so far away, and so many things are going to happen between now and then. And it's, it's like once you get into the playoffs, all kinds of crazy stuff can happen just depending on which team is hot at that point. So I guess if just do well enough to get into the playoffs, and then we'll figure it out from there. It's kind of, I think, the way I've come to view it,
Do you think some are like, oh man, this is just from practice, it's like, okay, we're ready. Like, you know what I mean? Like some teams might know they're really together and they're really ready at this point, July.
Yeah, 31st. I mean, I think definitely, and I think it's the teams that you would expect, like that pundits are rating in the top 10 currently are teams because they have an established number of things, established culture, established like really, really good players in certain critical positions, an established history of good management, and good coaches. Like those are the teams I think that are like, they can feel confident knowing they're going to probably make into the playoffs, no problem. The Chiefs, the Eagles at this point are good examples. The Ravens, the Bills, those teams are going to make it into the playoffs. Probably even if they had, like, if they lost one of their really good players, they probably have enough around it to, still be able to get in. If the NFC North weren't so strong right now, I'd say then the Packers easily, but I mean, we don't really know for sure, because I think the Lions will probably take a step back, but that's still a step back from excellent. It's still gonna be really, really good. And the Vikings are a real mystery, because how's JJ McCarthy going to be? They could be amazing, or they could be the worst one in the division, depending on the quarterback alone. And then the Bears, who knows, because there's so many things that change for them that they win the offseason, of course, and I think they nailed the offseason this year. But they always bear it up, So who knows? Like, this could be the time that they don't, potentially, but it's just a really contentious, I think, wide open And I say most
Okay.
of this,
Okay,
you know,
let me rephrase this. What do you think, based on the content that you've been consuming, just around the practice so far?
Mhm.
What do you feel that the creators are leaning toward in terms of, is this a championship team or is this just maybe a playoff team? Are you getting a sense of that yet?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question because I feel like it's super important to listen to enough different voices in this stuff to really see that nobody has a clue ultimately, and for as like confident as like the hottest of hot takers will sound,
Mm-hmm.
people equally as smart will say something totally different. And I think a great example of this was Mina Kimes has been doing like the sort of like power hour, she calls it, of having a guest on and they rank all 32 teams, but she does it like, okay, here are two teams, which one's better? And then she says, okay, well, now here's another team to compare against the team you didn't pick. Which one's better? And just goes down the line, to just presenting one new team every time to compare against whichever team the person just said not that team.
Right.
I think it's a really fun way to like kind of work through it. And like, it's not perfect because, at the end she'll ask the host, like, or the guest, that is, was there anybody who you think should have been ranked higher than kind of how it worked out? And like there always is, but point being, like, there's a lot of different opinions you hear because you're hearing very different guests coming on. The most recent one I listened to was Adam Rank, who's a hater. And here's a guy last year who was like, oh, the Bears are going to go to the Super Bowl, which, like, a reality check.
That's so funny.
And
Okay.
he said, like, he thinks the Bears have a good chance to win the NFC North. Like, I don't know, man, but he made some good points. He did. I will give him that. And one of the things he said is, and you kind of catch flavors of this from other commentators as well, is like with the Packers, there's this kind of, I don't know, there's this take out there, I guess, let's say, that's floating out there among a lot of folks, that the Packers are a team of like really good players, but no exceptional players. I don't agree with that, but I see where people are coming from. And when you have like a team full of just like all, B plus players, you have a good chance getting into the playoffs, but it's not guaranteed. But you probably won't go all the way to the Super Bowl, which I think is also bad logic, because once you're in the playoffs, like I said before, anything can happen, right?
Sure.
So I do think, between Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney, I believe Jordan Love, Adrian Cooper, just name a couple, and our kicker apparently too.
Yes.
I think we have exceptional players. I think we have stars, amongst the rest of the really good players. So what are the people saying about the Packers? Even the biggest hater that I've heard, Adam Rank, again, had the Packers at number 10. Other people have had them much higher. I think as high as like 6 in Mina Kimes' thing. I think I've seen them ranked as high as 5. But that's pretty uncommon because the teams at the top, whatever order you're going to put them in, it's easy to say it's a bunch of AFC teams, honestly. You got, again, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs are 3 excellent teams. And, with the Eagles, you got 4 good teams that are probably, at least on paper, better than the Packers. So, when you ask the question, is this a championship team? Can they win it all? I mean, I do think so, because playoffs are crazy, and who's hot then, and who's injured, and whatever else. I think they have to be in the conversation when it matters. And, in the meantime, let's just freaking enjoy each week's game,
Oh, 100%. Oh, God. I'm there for that. No, I'm just curious. Yeah, what you're because you're listening to more content the last couple of weeks than I have. So I was just curious what you're I feel like on the stars idea, because I know that Andy Herman brought that up with his reasons, that could make or break being a championship team.
Yeah,
the idea about whether there are stars or not, it's what the people that you've been talking about are looking at is, have there been stars in the past? And so since we have such a young team, stars can emerge at any point. And the idea is, I think the expectation is that there will be stars that emerge in a big way, like in a very undeniable way this year, this season, and next season, based on the history of performance as well as age and a lot of the other factors that went into why they might have not emerged last year, for example, whether it was injuries or the schedule or whatever. So I feel like a lot of people that are making predictions like that are only able to, obviously only able to look at history, and that's not really meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Because like you say, things, I mean, every year is a new start. We don't pick up where we left off. We talked about this last year. We're not going to pick, because we left off in a really good place the season before last, but we didn't pick up exactly where we left off, because right. And we had that disastrous game. I mean, it wasn't disastrous in every sense, but the field and the injuries in Brazil and all that to start the season. So it really dampened the whole season, for expectations. In my opinion, just for me, I was just like, okay, settle down, Don. It's going to be a whole season here. We're not Super Bowl champions right now. So it's interesting. I was just curious what vibe you got from in general. Yeah.
That's such a good point, Don, about like they're looking at, they try to prognosticate based largely on like who the stars were. But we know that every year unexpected players make unexpected leaps forward or backward. And so what you thought you knew suddenly changes, like going into last year, people like Christian McCaffrey is going to be, the fantasy football leading point scorer. And then he was awful because he had a huge injury and was recovering from that. Like, I understand people get injured. I'm not trying to like blame him or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like stuff's going to happen. And, if we're looking like who are the stars last year in the Packers versus who it could be this year, I mean, we could see, Matthew Golden be amazing. We're going to see, I think, Tucker Kraft be even better. And he's being slept on by the league, by the way. The people who are not giving him credit,
of course.
It's crazy to me. The tight ends, the Madden, rankings came out for all the different like player groups, I think today. And freaking Tucker Kraft wasn't in the top 10 tight ends, which is insane to me. Like, look at the statistics. He's easily a top 5, and he still hasn't really been hit his ceiling yet, So there are players that we have who are, I think, primed to break out, and hopefully they do. And I'm gonna say not instead of if they do, but when they do, to manifest it on when they do.
There you go.
I think people be eating their words. Hopefully they realize how silly they were being for saying such things. That's what I think.
What I think is, who would you rather attack? A sleeping opponent or one that was waiting for you?
Ooh, I like that.
So let them sleep.
Let them sleep.
Sweet dreams.
You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see. Guys.
Oh yeah. I like that. That kind of fires me up, but it's annoying too. But it's
super annoying. And that's the thing.
It's predictable. Yeah.
Well, so much of those sorts of things, like let's release the Madden rankings, top 10 players in each position. It's rage bait ultimately, because I was like commented like I'm so angry about this, blah blah, random anger, like just like jokingly. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, this is just ridiculous. One of the things I was gonna say here is going back to that idea of just like let's just enjoy each game. Is I keep thinking back to, was it probably Rodgers last season or second to last season with us? How it was nerve-wracking watching the games. It wasn't always fun because it was like they have to win this game. Because they're going to win it all this year. So like they have to win. And if they were behind it all and the score, if that happened, you like start to freak out. Just like it's anxiety-inducing instead of just like fun to watch. People playing football, which is a fun thing to do. So
that's interesting. It's much more fun now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's much more fun.
Oh, so much more fun.
Yeah, and even last year with things didn't always go the way we hoped they would, and especially with Jordan Love getting injured right, in that first game. Like that was a bummer, but still, it was more fun than like the last couple of Aaron Rodgers seasons with that anxiety. And let's just keep that energy going this year. Like,
oh yeah,
the Packers are extremely good. Are they right now today the best team in the league? Like, I don't think so. I wouldn't say that. Even as a homer,
we don't know. No, and we just don't know. We don't know about those other teams either.
Yeah, there's so many things. So many things going to happen. So. Will I bring an anxious, nervous energy to watching the games this year? Like, heck no. It's going to just be fun to watch them,
It's going to be great fun. It's going to be great fun. Okay, Maddie, are you ready for the little thing that I brought for this week?
Your philosophical superlative? Let's hear it, Dawn.
This is an insightful acknowledgement superlative. And this goes to Dusty Evely, who by the way, is up in the chat, but I don't understand it, so I haven't addressed it.
Oh,
So,
here, I can just real quickly, I can give the quick rundown.
okay.
Joe is hurt because we didn't talk about him as one of the superlatives because he had Dusty on. He thought that would be enough to get mentioned on the show. Well, Joe, I'm mentioning you now, my friend. Okay.
Joe.
We love you, Joe. We love Dusty. And so they're just talking kind of back and forth about that. So that's what's going on there.
My apologies, but I've really been off, like out in Never Land in for the last week. Okay, so Dusty, what is it called when you say something on Blue Sky? I've already forgotten. I haven't been on Blue Sky. Oh yeah, okay. Dusty skeeted. He said, and this was yesterday. Last night, I thought I'd roll through all of Isaiah Simmons' 2024 snaps against play action just to see how his eyes are at linebacker. He had a
casual thing you do on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean?
Of course, does he? Okay, well, that's my point. He had a grand total of 9 snaps, and 3 to 4 of them saw him playing outside on a wide receiver. I learned nothing. And it made me think about something. So here's what it made me think about. And I adore Dusty, and I love this skeet. To become truly good at something, we have to do it thousands and thousands of times, right, Maddie? Thousands of times to be really good at something. So what we see from our content creators, our favorites, and the new ones that we're mentioning sometimes, who provide football analysis, often results from multiple hours behind the scenes, much never coming to light. But Dusty brought that to light in such a charming way, right? He learned nothing, but he spent the time. I love that. So here's a shout out to our fine football analysts like Dusty, who invest their time so we can learn in a half hour or an hour what they've undoubtedly spent countless hours on. So
here.
Yeah. That's
raise a water bottle for them.
All of you guys. So even though I only have one superlative, it kind of covers a lot of people. So for all the analysts, the quarterback school, all of you guys, thank you, because we know that there's a lot more that goes in behind the scenes than comes out in their little like tweets or skeets or half-hour videos of film grinding or whatever. So thank you for that. Yeah,
that includes you, Joe. All right, man. That includes you.
Joe. Oh my gosh, Joe. And having Dusty on is really gold stars. Like that's a must-see TV type of thing. So check out Joe's podcast.
Yeah,
I think seriously. Between our last show and this show, I don't know. Did I mention this to you, Maddie? I was on Joe's podcast as well.
Yeah, we talked about it last
time. Okay. So we need to check out all of Joe's podcasts, including his what do you call the off-season
off-topic? I believe is what it is.
Yes, content, which is really fun too. So thank you, Joe. Yeah. We support.
All right, hopefully Joe feels better now that we gassed him up. Hopefully he's feeling better.
No, I mean it's a good point. Off season, off topic, and it's fantastic. And everything Joe brings to us and Joe puts in lots of hours too. So we appreciate that.
Indeed.
So Maddie, any final thoughts before we ring her home?
Ooh, well, this has been a most enjoyable time, Dawn, as always. Let's see here. Final thoughts, I guess. Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, let's keep it in mind, friends, family. Let's keep it in mind that the football is there to be enjoyed. It's a way to be entertained, but also to form communities, a way to have conversations. It's unfortunately a way how some people get really angry and belligerent and anxious, and all the worst kinds of parts of the human experience come out. Dude, put that stuff aside. It's football. There are things in this world right now that are worth getting angry about, and this is a game. Save your anger for the things that actually do matter, and they do, and they're happening right now. Let's enjoy the football, man. That means like between different teams, you come across a Bears fan in the wild, do a little ribbing, but in the end, like we're all fans of the same thing, and just let's enjoy the football. Okay. That's my final thought, Don.
My final thought is, speaking of bears in the wild,
Great segue.
A couple of weeks ago, I can't remember why. It was a couple of weeks ago. I started binging bear attack videos. Did I tell you about this?
You mentioned that, yeah.
And now, like, YouTube is sending them all to me, and I can't stop. I can't stop. I love bears. Wow. I'm also in the Facebook group. I know Facebook. The Fat Bears tournament that happens every year in Alaska, where you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love bears. I just want to say I love bears. I just don't like the bears.
So. Not the bears. The bears, yes.
So when you said Bears fans in the wild, I'm like, I would avoid a bear in the wild. So I would probably avoid a Bears fan.
You should avoid one of those, yes.
So, I mean, they're not as cute as I think they are. Never go hiking without bear spray. That's all I can say. So that will be the last piece of advice that I will provide tonight. All right, Maddie. Thank you, chat, for being here. And also, True Fan says, beware of the nuclear wasps. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna look that one up. I
will Google that after we're done here. The nuclear wasps. Oh wow. Okay, with that, thank you, Tamara. I will bring it home, Don. Here we go.
Bring her home.
Friends. We'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and a football fan. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms. And folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us to keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right, because we love you. We're so glad to know you, to be fans of you, and have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod, and we look forward to seeing you next week on...
Hey, we like your pod.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff happens.